You are into Bollywood, you are into Bengali film, you are into web series, you are into TVC, you had done everything and you are a great theatre artist. So I do not have any audacity to introduce you. You are the Captain America of India. How you make that happen? Because that is a complete different ball game when you are giving your voice for these kind of characters.
Though my voice is very different from the original Captain America, it's a different, because in American acting or style of acting is very different from Indian acting.
आज की तारीख में जो एक्टर बनने की जो तादाद है वो बहुत ज्यादा है, बट उसमें से बहुत गिने चुने लोग हैं जो सही में एक्टर बनना चाहते हैं. They are actually coming into this field to get fame and to become a star or hero or a heroine.
क्या है कि मानव कैरेक्टर ऐसा है कि वो विजिबिलिटी चाहता है, वो विजिबल होना चाहता है.
Okay.
उसको पहचान चाहिए. कुछ एक है जो शर्मिंदा है, जो कहते नहीं मुझे लाइट नहीं चाहिए, मुझ पे लाइट मत लगाओ. लेकिन ज्यादातर लोग जो हैं वो कहते हैं कि यार मैं मर जाऊंगा, ये पूरी जिंदगी काट लूंगा, मुझे कोई जानता नहीं, पहचानता नहीं. मेरी भी तो एक पहचान हो, मुझे भी तो कोई जाने. Without the framing of the cameraman, the medium doesn't exist. But again, what the cameraman frames will not exist unless the editor is able to put those shots in the right manner. So editor becomes supreme being in the end, because it's the editor who can make or break a film. A mediocre film through very good editing can become better. A good film through very bad editing can become mediocre.
You are the hero of a movie. Director is seeing you as a puppet, want to use you in this way, that way. Once the movie get flopped, entire responsibility goes to the hero, not to the director.
No, it goes to the director also. When I got the offer to do my first Bengali film, which was an epic, Patal Ghor, based on Shishindu's, and it was being done by an ad agency, by an ad filmmaker. They were all making their first feature film. They're putting all the money they have earned through ads into this film. It was the biggest budget Bengali film ever. I had done my first Hindi film just 2 years ago, 98. I did my debut film called Hazar Chaurasi Ki Maan,
yes,
with Govind Ilani. So I had got a certain kind of reputation around as the new thinking actor on the block kind of thing, you know.
Okay. कि अभी मान लीजिए किसी के पास स्टोरी है, किसी के पास विजन है, कुछ बनाने के लिए इच्छा है, जज्बा है, सब कुछ है, तो क्या वो दर दर भटके सारी प्रोडक्शन हाउसेस की तभी जाके कुछ बना पाएगा?
Obviously, भटकना पड़ेगा. दर दर भटके 10-15 साल भी लग सकता है आपको. So that's my simple guideline, that you have to work on yourself. Everyone has some talent or the other. Some has talent for singing, some has talent for dancing, some has talent for acting, some have talent for all three. So you have to find out, you have to ask yourself, what is your talent?
Hi, this is Indraneel and welcome to the Spotlight Beyond Profession. Bollywood is the most desirable factor for every Indian. And today in our podcast, we are having a star who is not the only Bollywood star. He is a star in Kolkata in Bengali film industry. He is a star in Bollywood film industry, as well as he has done some remarkable job in web series, that is OTT platforms, as well as in TVC. He is a great theatre artist. Yes, we are talking about Mr. Joy Sengupta. Mr. Joy Sengupta has started his career from Hazar Chaurasi Ki Maan. That was one of the most prominent feature film in the film industry of India. He is a prominent theatre artist and he had seen in many OTT platforms where it was a class of 83 or it may be his upcoming feature film as Do Divane Shehar Mein. So today in this podcast, we will try to understand more about Mr. Joy Sengupta's journey, as well as how he sees Bollywood as industry and how the regional film industry works. So please watch this podcast in the end. And before that, I would like to request you to please subscribe this channel, The Spotlight Beyond Profession, so that you can have all the updates from our end. As an actor, when you are doing all these formats simultaneously, what is your process to understand when a narrative comes to you, when a one-liner comes to you, and when someone is giving you a script that this is a story? How you decide that you want to act or you want to take this as a project of yours?
See, when it comes to theatre, it's very easy. I do theatre because I want to say something personal. Meaning, something which reflects my worldview, my philosophy, my ideals. And theatre provides you that, because theatre is mostly done, it's for entertainment of course, but it is also done because someone, an artist, a playwright, is also trying to say something valuable through a play, whatever the play is. So in theater, it becomes very easy to understand whether there is this play is saying something or it's just on the surface.
Okay.
Whether the person who is writing has created a craft which is very interesting, or it is just a gimmick or something which has been done many times. It's very easy to think. When it comes to television, it is very difficult because television series has many episodes. You wouldn't know what the episodes are going to come. You won't know how they would be written. All you would know is the subject matter and your character. And then if you are lucky enough, they might be able to make you understand your track and the overall subject matter and where is it going.
Okay.
Okay. When I used to do television, I didn't do too much of daily soap. I left television when daily soap started. I did television when they were mostly weekly serials, and I did telefilms, a lot of telefilms. So telefilms were like films. It's easy to understand. In my time, they used to give you scripts, and they used to give it in advance, 7 days in advance.
Okay.
We knew everything about the thing. In my time, television was director oriented.
Yes.
It was not channel oriented. A producer produced a series pilot which the director directed. The pilot would be submitted to channels. Somebody would accept it, and they will give you right to make 52 episodes, 104 episodes, whatever it is. But the director was in control of the medium, which means the art or the craft of it was assured that you knew that you're going to work in a goods project. When you work in TV now or later on, how TV became, they were episode directors. TV was completely controlled by the platform, the
Channels.
and then the producer. And your track could change. Subject matter would go from north to south or east to west. Characters would be bumped off, new characters brought in, all depending on those TRPs which would come on, I don't know, Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, whatever the TRP comes. So even if somebody tells you a story, you can't believe it. Even if somebody tells you a character, you can be sure that within 15-20 episodes, if they feel, channel feels, or producer feels, no, this track is not working well or character is not working well, they change your character. All of that is possible. And director has no say in this. Director doesn't direct or govern or control the medium. It is the channel and this thing. That's what television became. Not in my time. In my time, television was very satisfying.
Nowadays, even they write script on set sometimes.
Nowadays, it has. I mean, I wouldn't like to use the word joke, but it is almost like a joke. It is impossible for an actor to prepare for a character in television, or to even have an understanding of what graph he's going to follow or how he's going to build his character. He just has to go there and do what is there in it. So, and that's it. He can't ask questions. He can't really prepare. He can't really think too much. So the thinking actor doesn't work in television.
Because they also work in daily wages kind of a thing.
Yeah,
that your presence is there. It's like
it's
you
a
have no say
strategy.
to on it.
It's a strategy. Most people do television because they want to be secured. It's like doing a government job.
Okay.
You are secured.
Okay. Got it.
But nowadays, of course, series are shutting down in 3 months, 6 months. Earlier, there was a period when these things were going on for 1 year, 2 year, 3 year, 4 year. So for 1 year, your kitchen is running, your house is, your EMIs are being paid. So they did it. Some of them who did the lead parts would become very popular in certain households, in B centers and C centers. So they would get calls to do other things like reality shows or, visitation and all. So there'll be extra income from there, extra visibility from there. But was there creative satisfaction? I'm not sure. I don't think too many creativity was needed the way daily soap was functioning. It was not needed. What was needed was what is working, just do that. Just the opposite of theatre, because theatre is a challenge. Theatre is you're trying to communicate something deeply personal, directly to the audience, in front of the audience, live. And to bring it there in front of the audience, you have worked upon it for months.
So can I frame it in this way that when you are doing theatre, you are having something to say about it and you are directly communicating with your audience. So is it easy in that way because you have a limited kind of an audience? When you are doing something which is for a larger audience, then you have to think about multiple commercials on it. So is it in that way I can frame it?
Yeah. So business side comes in when you are when you make a medium mass medium. When a medium is limited to only those who are watching it there at that moment, it becomes an art. That is what art is, right? It's a performative art. A painting, one painting painted by one person will hang in one particular wall or gallery. You have to go there to see it. It can't be seen in all the cities at the same time.
Yeah.
Right? In books, yes, you can read it, you can pick up from the house. But yet, the person who is writing it is completely his voice. There's nobody else involved in it. It's his personal art
Yeah.
in book. But when it comes to television, it is multiple people are involved in it. Multiple people, including when it is being uploaded for screening in a channel and all that. None of that is in control of the artist. Right? That's totally out of your hand. So it goes into that space. But as I said, when I did television, because the director was supreme, someone like Sriram Raghavan or Anurag Basu, they were doing television at that time. When I was doing
Yes,
television.
yes.
So they wrote their own ideas, own stories, sometimes even scripts, dialogues. We improvised a lot of things. We choreographed and designed scenes over there because we were all passionate about how to bring out this particular moment on screen. That was television. In cinema is a very interesting medium. The primary artist in cinema is the director because he sees everything. But he can't execute it without the cameraman. So it's the cameraman's eyes. So he has to visualize the entire thing through the cameraman's eyes. The cameraman frames the director's idea. Without the framing of the cameraman, the medium doesn't exist. But again, what the cameraman frames will not exist unless the editor is able to put those shots in the right manner. So editor becomes supreme being in the end because it's the editor who can make or break a film. A mediocre film through very good editing can become better. A good film through very bad editing can become mediocre. It is possible. So again, the actor doesn't control all this process unless, of course, you are a superstar on whose name and branding a film has been launched, where you have all the say, who is going to work, who is not going to work, how will it come across, how your image should be projected and protected. If you don't like it, how it can be reshot. When it comes to the handful of superstars are there, they can control. They can do collaboration with the director and producer. But purely, if you ask me, cinema is a director's medium. Theatre is an actor's medium.
True.
Because audience, when they're watching a play, they're watching the actor. Right? And television is a writer's medium. Because it is the right episodes that they're writing, how it is, how the plotting is happening, where is it ending, how it is hanging there for people to switch on the next day to see more episodes and all. That is the way it does. A director can just simply shoot what is written in the thing and get away. In cinema, sometimes you don't even need a writer. A director with his own ideas of what he wants to tell can go on shooting. Shoot life around you and frame it into a film. So you have directors in the world who have not worked with professional actors. They work with non-professional actors, non-actors, shooting in locations, live locations here and there, shooting for 6 months, 8 months, and they're collecting a lot of footage, then sitting and painstakingly editing and then seeing, and then putting them together, and it becomes a fantastic film, But you didn't need a writer for that. You just had an idea that I want to go out there and shoot a moving train. Then I want to shoot a particular face peering from the window of the train. Then I want to shoot that person's life from which slum he comes from or she comes from. Because he's trying to trace a city connected by trains, the nameless, faceless people traveling in that train, and then trying to put a name on that face. So that's a director's idea. He doesn't need a writer for that. So that's a director's medium. So an actor has to understand all these aspects. If you get a good director in cinema, then you're safe. But if you get a bad director, then it doesn't matter how good your role seems like or it feels like when you read the script. It may not turn out like that, because a bad director may not be able to see half the things that the script was supposed to be or was meant to be. He will only see from his limited point of view. That's what we call about having a vision or no vision. A director's vision. That word comes from there.
Okay.
If a director has a vision, he will place a script. You give 5 different directors a particular Harry Potter novel. Each one will make the film differently.
Yes.
It's depending on the person's vision.
True.
So his philosophy, his idea, his way of looking at life, his way of understanding of people and characters, his concerns, they will all get projected there. That is why each director is so different. In Bengal, you come from Bengal. Why Satyajit is different from Mrinal Sen? Why are they similar? It's because Satyajit's philosophy or way of looking at life and people is slightly different.
Yes.
Mrinal Sen's way of looking at life, concerns are different.
And even by not watching the name of the director, by watching the movie, they can understand this is Mrinal Sen's movie and this is Satyajit Ray's movie.
You see a Tarun Majumdar film, you know it's a Tarun Majumdar film. You see a Tapan Sinha film, you know it's a Tapan Sinha.
Yes.
You see a Rishikesh Mukherjee film, you know it's a Rishikesh Mukherjee film. This is a Basu Chatterjee film. You know these things. Or this is a Manmohan Desai, a mad film, yet very specific about what he's trying to say. Amar Akbar Anthony, about secularism in India, how the mother India has different Amar and Akbar and Anthony, they have to coexist together. He's trying to say something, but in a mad way, right? He makes Parvarish, where he's trying to say what is more important, bloodline or the way you're brought up.
True.
2 different sons. One is born of a person but brought up by somebody else, and he becomes a smuggler. And the smuggler's son is brought up by a policeman. He becomes a policeman. So Parvarish is bringing up more important or being born more
Message
important.
is there, plus in an entertainment way.
So
that
he's
you can
saying his own
understand
thing, but in a mad way. So you see, he also has a vision, right?
Yes,
So
true.
it's very important to have. So these categories of commercial and art do exist. But the point is that a commercial filmmaker is trying to cater to a much larger group of people, and therefore he has to make his film digestible for all of them.
It should be palatable to a
For all
large
of
audience.
them. So now, just to make it seem palatable for the lowest common denominator, he has to simplify. Keep simplifying. And also give them things which they recognize. Because what does the mass do? Masses are brought up in a culture where they need to recognize everything. You can't give them something unfamiliar. That is why in folk culture is so important. In folk culture, you hear the same song, same thing, you see it every year, again and again. Ram Leela is seen every year, yet you go to see it. You know the story.
Yes.
Every spin, but you go to see it. Why? That's part of the DNA of the common man, the masses. So, commercial film works like that. It gives you a particular image, Purushottam, villain, this thing. It gives you a certain image. It places the image in a certain way. It gives you certain plot points and certain way of narrative which you understand, which you have seen before. It gives you very specific breaks in the film through songs and through comedy and through that, which you enjoy and which you know it's going to come like that. And within this, then you can make a Three Idiot, and that becomes a beautiful film. You're using the mainstream language, giving humor, music, feel good, and yet you are entertaining, right?
So is it becoming a little tough when you are acting in theaters and you are getting exposed to this TV world or in the Bollywood world? Because the differentiation is very prominent. Because when you are doing theater, you know that you are the one who has to lead it and who has to make it happen. When you are going to TV, there is a different driver.
Completely.
When you are into Bollywood, there is a different driver.
Yeah.
So how you analyze ki yes, I can manage or I can be settled in this direction, I can be settled in this way.
That is why it is important to understand the medium. If
Okay.
you understand the medium, it'll become easier for you to be part of that medium. Theatre medium is repetition.
Because you cannot complain once you've agreed upon. You cannot complain. You need to adjust or you need to understand that
You
how you
can't
can
complain.
keep your image intact
yeah.
in that particular
You
project.
have to deliver. Every medium is about delivering. As an actor, as a lightsman, as a sound person, you need to deliver. So whether you're able to deliver as per the need of the script and the director is what is important, right? Now you might feel that, I can see so much and so many other things in the scene. Why is not the director seeing or allowing me to do it? That can happen in all the three mediums. Even in theatre, you could.
So in your projects, is it ever happening that you have some layers you are understanding through your character and director is asking to do something differently?
Obviously it
The
happens.
difference of opinion or the difference
Yeah,
of
yeah.
creating that art.
No, it is very important to have that challenge. That is what challenge is. Whether your vision is more clear, more precise, more communicative, or the person who is telling you to do a scene a certain way. It all depends on that.
Because maximum actors,
Yeah.
I'm just quoting it, some actors always say that whatever director asks me to do, I just deliver that.
It is
As
that's
simple as
performance.
that. And few actors are saying that once director narrate me something and give me a liberty
Yeah.
that this is the scene, now you
Yeah.
act as per your own understanding. That also I do.
There are different ways of directing. Some director will consider actors as puppets, and that's in world cinema. It's not just India, and which is not wrong. He's saying these are my puppets. I'm going to use them as I want to tell my story or tell my idea. If I say stand here, don't move your eyes, don't move your hand. You stand here, don't move your eyes, don't move your hand. That's all. That's a director. But what is important is whether he's got a clear vision of what he's trying to say. Only then he'll be able to direct it in a certain way.
But now here is my question is,
Yeah.
you are the hero of a movie, director is seeing you as a puppet, want to use you in this way, that way. Once the movie get flopped, entire responsibility goes to the hero, not to the director.
No,
People
it
will
goes to
don't
the
know.
director also. See, when you're making a film which is driven by the man who is playing the hero, that's a different case. Salman Khan plays a bhai, suppose, in every movie. Now, one bhai movie super 8, second bhai movie super 8, third bhai movie is super flop. There he can take the responsibility that people are tired of my one image or one way of telling story. It's not director's fault. Director is only serving the
The
bhai
demand.
image. The bhai image. That's all. That's the thing. But that's not the case of good directors. So you must understand, as I said, if a director has a vision, it's very important. The one who doesn't have a vision, he's only replicating. He's only putting things together. आपने खाना बनाया बहुत सारे 5 आइटम, मैंने उनको अच्छे से प्लेट में सजा के खाने को दिया. वो मैंने तो नहीं बनाया खाना, लेकिन मैंने सजा के दिया. जो खाने वाला वो उसने मेरी शक्ल देखी, उनको लगा अरे प्लेट तो बहुत अच्छा लग रहा है. अब खा के उनको स्वाद ना आए, बोले ये क्या बनाया, गाली इसको पड़ेगी, है ना. ये हो सकता है बोले कि नहीं खाना मैंने नहीं बनाया और उसको बुला गया, उस डांट उसको पड़े. Correct. Now, if the chef is good, then everybody will get the credit. If the chef is bad, then the one who is the face, the one who is right there, will get the brickbats. So, when you take someone like, say, Vidhu Vinod Chopra, who comes from a background of FTII, technical very strong, creatively very strong, has a clear artistic vision. When he tries to make his first out-and-out mainstream film called Parinda, he picks up Anil Kapoor and Jackie Shroff. In that film, it was supposed to be done by other actors, frankly, not them.
Okay.
It was a much smaller film about two brothers, misunderstanding, gone different directions, life gets completely destroyed because of one decision or two decisions that they take. Much smaller, it was supposed to be like a film noir sort of a thing. But then, I think there was a suggestion that why don't you scale it up? There is a possibility of scaling it up. So he chose commercial stars of that time. Now Jackie Shroff had never done a characterization of this kind till then. He had never done such a restrained, such a character-driven character. He had done images. So,
Hero.
Bidu, bhai, hero, that kind of stuff who comes, struts and all that. Here he had to actually emote. He also had to contain. He also had to internalize emotions. He had to hold back a lot of things. So, he had never done such a thing. And he was not known as a great actor in those days. He was not known as a good actor. He was known as a actor who's got an action image, who is physically very good looking and supposed to be sex symbol and all that, macho.
Yes,
He had a macho image.
Yes,
but he was not known for emotions. He didn't do films which were based on emotions. In Parinda, Vidhu Vinod Chopra invested in Jackie Shroff. And Jackie Shroff surrendered himself to Vidhu Vinod Chopra. First he was uncomfortable, obviously, because not done this movie. But then he surrendered. So when you surrender to the director's vision, because the director has a vision, you get Parinda and you get Jackie Shroff's character, which went on to win Filmfare Award as best as an actor.
Yes.
Jackie Shroff won a Filmfare Award as an actor for Parinda. And then you see after that his graph. Suddenly he is discovering another side of him, which was untapped. Vidhu Vinod Chopra untapped that. And then when you see Ram Lakhan, you see Jackie Shroff, how restrained he is. Then you see his work with Mahesh Bhatt, how contained and how restrained, how beautifully sensitive. And Jackie Dada became one of the finer actors of.
Then he actually became an actor.
But that's directly because of the influence of one director to whom he surrendered. He surrendered to the vision, saying, मैं ये वर्ल्ड नहीं जानता हूँ, मैं ये चीज़ नहीं जानता हूँ, ये आप मुझे कराओ मुझसे. And that happened.
Now, another one thing I just want to ask you, that when you are doing a theater and when you are getting a director, there also director is there and you are doing multiple rehearsal and all, and then you are projecting something on that. That coordination, how much it is different than a film or than a TV?
Quite different. In theatre, we build a play bit by bit every day during rehearsal process. We build it up. We build the whole world. We build each character. We build each relationship. And then we sharpen the method of communication, that what should be the mode of communication in this play.
Okay.
How do we get to the audience through this play? Do we do it in a manner which is realistic? We do it in a manner which is farcical. We do it in a manner which is experimental. How do we do that? What is the best possible way of saying these things? So you discover that on. So every theatre rehearsal is a mode of discovery. So we explore, we discover, we fall, we miss. Then we arrive through trial and error. Then we arrive. Once we arrive at certain thing, then we try to improve. Then we polish it. Then we fix it. And then we repeat it. And then from this repetition comes the acting, which is natural. It's instinctive. It doesn't look mechanical. Because it's become part of you now. You don't have to now work upon it.
Rehearsals and practices are a lot more in theatre compared to any other medium.
It is because in cinema, as I said, you can use an actor like a puppet. You can have a director. You can have Hitchcock. Hitchcock was famous for calling his actors like cattle or something like that. He didn't believe in great acting as such. He believed that they will do according to what is my design. They will have to fall into the design. So while a lot of great actors worked with Hitchcock, there are also actors who said that working with Hitchcock is difficult because you can't have your way.
Like today's time, it is Mr. Rajamouli.
I don't know
because every actor and everyone is getting surrendered because they believe his vision.
No,
he will create something massive. So whatever he is asking, just do it.
Yeah, but Rajamouli may give space to the actor to grow. Hitchcock's was very different. Everything was designed pehle se. Everything was designed. His method was, the way I write a screenplay, anyone can come and shoot it and give me the same film. It's all there. You just have to come. So actor was not given any scope of going out of the script, out of the space, out
Any
of this.
modification? There was no
Nothing. You just have to just follow it. Like as I said, it's a different kind of puppet, but it's a puppet. In one way, it's a puppet only. And yet, there are actors who you see some terrific performances in Hitchcock's films. When you see Rear Window, you see great performance in Rear Window or Vertigo and Notorious and stuff like that. You see very good performances, but it's completely Hitchcock driven. He's driving the whole thing. Nobody has a say in the thing. So that's one way of doing it. But there is another way of doing it. Richard Linklater, when he collaborates with Ethan Hawke in Before Sunrise, Before Sunset, Before Sunrise, those films, they're collaborative efforts. They're collaborating together, building scenes together. They're interacting together. Then there are films, even in Mumbai that happens now, there are workshops. You build your character in workshops.
Yes. Now it is there.
Yeah,
Yes.
so director briefs you about the thing. There's an acting teacher who will conduct a workshop for you to find. What is a workshop? Workshop is you work and find. You try to find your way. And so if you can't find your way, the acting teacher or the director will help you. But if you can find your way, and you arrive at something and they say, yeah, this is it. It's there. Now you go on set and do that. You don't have so much of rehearsal like you have in theatre. But some directors even do that. Some directors follow the process of theatre on set. On the particular space where the scene is to be shot, they will rehearse with the actors number of times, and finally he will arrive at a particular way of doing it, and he'll shoot it. Some directors just make you do number of takes.
Yes.
And then picks one of them in between, probably. But why does he make you do so many takes? Because he wants to see something more, something different, something else. Something is, I'm not getting something. Give me more. And then he says, I've got it. But even when he gets it, he's not sure. So he'll keep doing it. And then he'll pick up one of the takes from there. Stanley Kubrick was famous for doing 97 takes with someone like Jack Nicholson.
Yes.
Such intense film like Shining, where you're giving your everything physically, mentally. 97 takes. That's also, in a way, theatre mode only. You're kind of at it again and again. And so your craft has to be strong.
Yes.
And you have to also be inspired to be able to continue with that. So it's a tough job.
You are the Captain America of India. How you make that happen? Because that is a complete different ball game when you are giving your voice for these kind of characters, which is massively accepted by the people, superheroes. How that process goes on and how you deliver that way?
Voicing was, when I started voicing, it was like a hobby for me.
Okay.
I enjoyed doing it way back. This was even before I stepped into television. I used to do dubbing for Tamil, Malayali series and all in Hindi. It used to be fun to do different voices, what the actor has already done, how to replicate that in a different language, and all of that. It was a hobby. Then in Bombay, I started doing little voicing for ads and stuff, and some documentaries, narration and stuff like that. Even that wasn't like my profession. My profession was what it was. And then this track happened when Hollywood films were widely getting dubbed in Indian languages. It's happened about 20 years ago. It started this whole thing, to 2005 onwards. And even before Marvel, a lot of films were now getting acceptance in regional languages. While Hollywood was now looking at tapping regional markets. So they wanted to do that. So then somebody I think came to know about me, referred me, so I got a call. So I started voicing like that, and I already done a few films, interesting films, voicing for films before that, commercial films like A-Team and 2012 and stuff like that. And then I was asked to test for Captain America. So were many people, and Warner Brothers is very picky about these things. It takes months. So I did a test for that, and then when the result came, they said, we would like to have this particular voice. Though my voice is very different from the original Captain America. It's a different his is much voluminous and yet quieter, you know, because in American acting or style of acting is very different from Indian acting. So the brief was, or the process was, that I will have to do what I see on screen, what he's doing, but I have to give it an Indian heroic sort of a color.
Okay.
So an Indian hero is a little different from an American hero. An American hero can speak in an undertone
Yeah. Yeah.
and say, let's do it. And he'll say, but Indian hero, if he says, let's do it, probably nobody will listen. So they want an Indian hero to be more forceful.
Okay.
So I had to bring in a little more force into my voice and a little more energy into my voice than what Captain America there was doing. You know, he was understated and he was almost speaking between the lines. It's Tony Stark, Iron Man, who spoke a lot. Not Captain America.
Yeah, true.
Captain America would just come in there with one line, and that's it. So, but here we had to make him a little more forceful and a little more heroic, and so I guess it worked. So, you know, happened.
You worked in, maybe we call it Tollywood, Bengali film industry. You worked in Bollywood. What basic difference you find in Bollywood and the regional, majorly in Kolkata? Because art, whenever we speak about, maximum art has been created through that state only.
Yeah.
So how do you feel, and what is your understanding about the differentiation of the same medium but in a different language or different state?
When I always wanted to work in Bengali films because that's my route, and I was brought up watching some terrific Bengali films. A tradition of good Bengali films was there in my gene, and I always wanted to go back to that period when that kind of cinema was being made. Ray, Mrinal Sen, Ghatak, Tapan Sinha, Tarun Majumdar, that particular period, you know, mid 60s to late 70s, you can say. But that period was gone, you know, and a very different period had come in Bengali cinema when I was first called to do a Bengali film.
Yes.
It was more directed at a certain kind of rural audience or semi-rural audience.
Yes.
And it was very tacky, as they say.
Yes.
It was done in the...
Yes, there was a period which was completely like a mess.
Mess meaning... I mean, films were being made, but there were a lot of shortcuts and...
yes, true.
Being employed, and there was not much seriousness in detailing, not much seriousness technically, not much seriousness in floating some interesting ideas and all. It was a very strange period when I got the offer to do my first Bengali film, which was an epic, Patal Ghor. It was based on Shishindu's short story, and it was being done by an ad agency.
Okay.
By an ad filmmaker. They were all making their first feature film. They're putting all the money they have earned through ads into this film, and it was the biggest budget Bengali film ever. They didn't know whether the film will work or not, because what they were visualizing, what they were thinking of doing was unheard of. I had not seen that kind of nuancing and detailing in Hindi cinema also, you know, at that time in year 2000, I would say. They were very detailed, very, very artistic, detailed in the artistic way, but technically as good as any stuff being done in the world, you know, technically. So both the technical strong side was there because of their ad film, this thing, and the detailing was there, and the artistic vision was there. There were all three, and so I said, this is great, yeah. If this is my first Bengali film, then there's nothing better than that. And they made that film. It was a spectacular film telling a fantastic story, and it became a cult over the years. It's a cult film. You ask any director in Bengal,
Yes.
and they will, which is the film which you learned from or you think is one of the landmarks, they'll say Patal Ghor. It was a flop because people were not ready for that kind of cinema. When it came on that big screen, it had no computer graphics, nothing. Everything was made. So that kind of art direction was not seen in not just Bengali cinema, but I think with Hindi films. You know, you had spacecraft being made. There was no CGI. So you had a spaceship, you had an alien. The entire alien makeup was created, you know, with prosthetics and everything. In those days, when prosthetics were not so developed otherwise,
yes.
you know, it was created at that time. There were 75 characters in the film, and it was a musical film. So there were about 6 songs in the film. Each of the song told a story within the film and stuff like that. And it was a fantastic film. So I thoroughly enjoyed doing it. We shot it over 6 months and stuff like that. But as I said, the film flopped in those days, and it then became a cult. When it started getting screened on small screen, without even enjoying the big screen character of the film, people started going crazy about it, you know.
And how you became part of that film? What was that process?
I had done my first Hindi film just 2 years ago,
Okay.
98. I did my debut film called Hazar Chaurasi Ki Maan
Chorsi Ki Maan, yes.
with Govind Ilani. So I had got a certain kind of reputation around as the new thinking actor on the block kind of thing, you know.
Okay.
Yeah. So and that.
So your first entry was into movies, or your first entry was into theatre?
No, theatre was from the beginning only.
Okay.
Theatre was way back. Then came television, and then came films.
Okay.
So gradually, each one happened in its own pace. So, but when films happened, again, it happened like everything in my life. So it didn't happen because I forced something. It happened organically in my case. From theatre, I got television with
Okay.
people, director who watched me or liked me. They liked me. They wanted to see me on TV. And then Govind Ilani saw me in a play and cast me for Hazar Chaurasi Ki Maan.
Okay.
And so that was a serious film. Got a lot of number of awards. I got some award. So you know there was a certain reputation about a different kind of actor who was
Method actor जिसको बोलते हैं.
मेथड तो नहीं, but serious actor. In the sense, young actor में उस समय normal Hindi cinema में you had action film actor, you had romantic actor.
Yes,
you know.
yes. Those taglines were
Yeah,
there.
yeah. You had comic actors. You had negative villains. So you had stuff. So I didn't fall into in any of those categories because it was difficult to slot me because I don't look like a hero. I don't look like a romantic star. I don't look like a comic character. Nor do I look like a villain. So, but I'd play characters.
But you had done all formats because you are excellent in
No, it's
comedy. You are
depending
excellent
on-
in serious role as well.
But that's characterization.
True.
It's not being a type.
So now they are tagging them as a character artist.
To some extent because of OTT, to some extent because a certain kind of cinema was made, you know, in when Anurag kicked off this whole movement of different kind of directors making movies with different many characters. You know, when you make a film on Bombay, Bomb Blast, where there are 17 characters, no one is a lead. Every character is important, right?
Yes.
So when you make a Masan, every character has his own place and space.
Yes.
So that thing came, and Lagan actually was a beginning
Yes,
of that because you had an ensemble cast. So that had started later, but when I was here in Mumbai, late 90s, it was still Khatron Ka Khiladi, Khiladiyon Ka Khiladi on one side, or Sanam Teri, Sanam Meri Jaan, you know, that kind of thing, romantic as we call it, Sajan, this, that. And you had to fit yourself in it. Where do you fit in? Hero, villain, comedian. If you're senior, then the hero's father, hero's mother, that kind of thing. So some people came and went straight for the slot, you know, and did very well also. Like Rajpal and Vijay Raj and all, they went for comic element and all. So
Yes.
Rajpal did very well. He
Yes.
got himself into the whole setup of commercial cinema where he was playing comedy in every film and successfully. Ashish Vidyarthi wanted to play the negative character.
No, there is a difference between your characterization and there, because if you are comparing with Mr. Rajpal Yadav, he was completely on a comedy.
Yeah.
But yours was not in that case.
No.
You had been to multiple, and that is the actually actor's desire to play different kind of genre and different kind of plays.
In Rajpal's case also, coming from NSD, being a very good dramatic actor also, serious actor also,
Yes.
he knew his strength.
So there is my question, that how it is different in Bengal and how it is different in Bollywood. Because in Bollywood, this is more prominent is apparently seen to be. Ki once you had a hit in certain character, then people will offer in those kind of characters only continuously.
No, but in
And how it is in West Bengal? How it is
Bengali
in
industry
Bengali?
also, when Prasenjit Chatterjee Bumada was reigning, he was doing similar kind of films, no? Mostly, or even Taposh Pal was doing similar kind of films. They were playing certain kind of semi-rural characters and stuff. The tracks were similar. They were patent villains and patent comedians and all of that.
Yes.
Patalgad was very different because Patalgad didn't fall into any slot. It was a film about, it's a science fiction film.
That was not a formula-oriented
Not
film.
at all. Not at all. But that's why it was a flop. You see, it was a flop. So I never became a successful hero in Bengali cinema or a villain or whatever. But I got respect as same like Hindi, a thinking actor. So that's how they came to me, because thanks to Haza Chaurasi ki Ma, they said, oh, there's a Bengali guy. He's Bengali. Joy Sengupta,
Yes.
who did Bruti, is a Bengali. And we want to make Patal Ghor, and we have this character of scientist Bhutnath Nondi. And we don't see anyone from Bengal doing it right now, because the kind of people who are working in cinema, they have certain image, certain this thing. We want to do it with someone who is different from this. We want to do with someone whose eyes look a little different, because it's a role of a scientist, but a young scientist, adventurous scientist. And maybe this guy will be good for this. So that's how they picked me up, because I was different from what was happening around. Everybody were doing 4 or 5 films at the same time in Bengal at that time. Similar kind of films. 4 films being shot at the same place, same set, with the same actor, just changing shirt. That was happening at that time. So that's how I came into Bengali cinema, and I was very selective. I used to do 1 film in 2 or 3 years, because that kind of cinema appealed to me. So the films I did in the first 10 years of my life in Bengal were very, very good films. My second film was called Bhalo Theko. It was a beautiful film. Vidya Balan's debut film. That was Vidya Balan's first film. It's a great film. Shoumitra Kaku, me, Vidya, and lots of other actors. It got 3 national awards. Patalgad got 2 national awards. Then I did a film called Jara Brishtite Bhije Chilo. It was based on Joy Goswami's poem, award-winning poem. A film made out of a poem. Beautiful, And I was playing the poet in that. Then I did Rabindranath's Chuturongo, directed by Shuman Mukhopadhyay, a great director. So that went into 52 film festivals around the world. So I did these kind of work. And that happened only once in 2-3 years.
From beginning you were selective. So that was the reason you maybe...
My inclination was like that. I was... some people are driven by certain things. If you present in front of me 2 things, one which is very artistic, very creative, maybe experimental, with a challenging set of shoot, and you present it in front of me which is very loud, very massy,
commercial.
I don't use the word commercial. I would like everything to be commercial, but in a very low common denominator, low brow, and where you just need a certain performance and not really artistic collaboration. I would probably get attracted to this, because that's my natural inclination, to be in a setup where there is a certain collaborative atmosphere, where a director is an artist and actor is an artist, and so both artists are there to take out certain meaning out of a certain scene, a certain moment, to create a certain moment, and that can only happen if your artistry is switched on. You don't come there and perform what you've been doing all the time. That is a different kind of performance. You come there and do a performance. That's one thing. But to be there and that in that moment, and certain creation happens which gets captured on camera, that's different. That's timeless. So my inclination was there, so probably I went this side. But it's not that I reject this. I love performance. I love performing, and that kind of mainstream cinema did not happen to me, because as I said, I was not seen in that kind of cinema much, so people did not think of me in terms of that. People think of you in terms of certain things, no? They couldn't think of me in terms of that.
So is still in your case, when you are getting certain character of certain projects, that is still your case, there are look test or auditions still happen?
Especially now. Earlier there was no audition per se. Because there was no casting process earlier. There was no casting process.
Okay.
You approached director, producer, assistant director, production house.
There was no layer in
There was
between.
nothing. There was no way of selecting someone. Everyone was selected on the basis of what they have done before.
Okay.
A hero is selected because his last 2-3 films were a hit, and you take him. Or a person is signed a big film, and you're expecting that film to do well, and he will sign 20 films. Before he signs 20 films, you sign him. That is a casting process.
Okay.
Same with other actors. ये माँ का रोल कर रहे हैं ना सीरीज में, माँ का इनको करो ना साइन माँ के रोल के लिए. It was like that. So there was no casting process. When the casting process started, then they were not looking at an actor as an image. They were looking as an actor as someone who needs to flesh out the character. And then the director and probably the producer or the platform, they will look and see whose portrayal or whose fleshing out is closest to what we are thinking.
Okay.
So, or whose presence is making more sense
To the screen.
Yeah. To this particular character. Whatever it is. Sometimes it's, because it's a visual medium, sometimes it's the look also matters. So the whole lot of thing came into it. And the casting process started in Mumbai, which is a very good thing, because casting is an art by itself. How you pick up someone, not just from Mumbai, but from anywhere in India, for a particular character that a director wants, even if it's a 2-line character, even if it's a 1-scene character, but a director wants certain kind of actor who looks certain, speaks in a certain way, is very authentic. मुझे ये चाहिए. So you search around and you find that person. It's when you are creating something in front of someone.
Yes, that
That's
feel
the
is something
fun.
different. And
अपने आप कैमरे के सामने बैठ के अपना वो करना वो तो. So that's the.
when you started your career, that time producer was a person who was leading the entire show or the journey.
Yeah.
Now there is a massive role of the studios as well. So how you see this producer, production house and the participation of studios into it to make it bigger, better and commercialized?
When there were film producers, you had a certain love and passion for cinema. It wasn't just business.
Yes.
So when a B.R. Chopra or a S. Mukherjee or a GPCP or a Gulshan Rai made films, there was a tremendous amount of passion and love for film. So a Mughal-e-Azam, a Pakiza, would come out, and Awara would get made, and till 70s, Diwar and Sholay and all these things would get made because there was a lot of passion and love for it. When the corporates came in, they generally see numbers, and they're also very detailed. So the producers made films from the heart. They were not very process oriented. There was no process. This is the signing amount. तेरे डेट मुझे दे, ये तेरा डायरेक्टर पसंदीदा, ये म्यूजिक डायरेक्टर, ये फला नेम का, स्टोरी ऐसी होगी जिसमें तू ये करेगा जो तूने पहले फिल्म में भी किया, लेकिन इसमें थोड़ा सा ये करेंगे, तेरे साथ पेयरिंग हम नहीं की करें कि उसी की करें जो पहले थे. तो बट उसको बड़े पैशन के साथ वो बनाते थे. अगर मतलब उसमें
still alive in South India?
Probably. फिल्में तब बहुत लंबे टाइम तक शूट होती थी. लोग 3-3, 4-4 फिल्में करते थे एक साथ.
Yes.
हाँ, और रिलीज होती तो रिलीज विज टू बी एन इवेंट, उसके लिए वेट करते थे साल भर लोग कि आएगी अमिताभ बच्चन की फिल्म जनवरी में जो भी है. और चली तो सिल्वर जुबली, गोल्डन जुबली, डायमंड जुबली, और नहीं चली तो लोग शोक मनाते थे. कुछ लोग खड़े होते थे साथ में कि कोई नहीं, हम लोग आपके साथ हैं, आपके लॉस में हम आपके साथ हैं. इस तरह का एक फीलिंग होता था. कुछ डूब जाते थे क्योंकि कोई साथ नहीं था. But it was like that. And the corporates came in. Corporate works in what? Corporate produce a lot of things at the same time, right? And corporates में कोई एक बंदा नहीं है जो decide करता है. Corporate is not proprietor driven. There are a group of people. Each one, there are a number of heads.
And then these films or these things became a project.
Yeah. So there are different people contribute different things, and it goes through different heads and different committees and different this thing. Numbers are crunched, ideas are floated, and all these things, and the process, they're put into certain kind of process. Now, I like process. I love process. Casting is a process. Workshop is a process. Costume trials are a process. When you go for recce, you fix a location, you fix its how it's going to be shot, what is the style, how many cameras you need, what lenses you need. All these things being decided before is a process. All the shots being designed is a process. All this is a process. But yeah, the old style, all heart and putting everything into one film, that is gone, because so the heart has gone missing. The brain has come in, the mind has come in there.
Because nowadays, multiple times I listen this, that now studios or the production houses, they want to sell their product on table first and then onto floor.
It's numbers. Cinema is not being discussed in terms of its impact or quality. It's only in terms of numbers. So they will float a number of for a particular film.
पहले digital right बेचना है.
40 CR super flop. No. Why is it a flop? When so many people are talking gloriously about it. No, 40 CR कमाया सिर्फ. 400 CR नहीं कमाया. So this is the way films are being judged in terms of numbers.
So how you see this box office as a numbers?
No,
number
box office तो पहले भी था.
हाँ, but
बॉक्स ऑफिस तो पहले भी था, लेकिन फिल्में चलती थी, लोगों का प्यार दिखता था आपको डायरेक्टली. अभी लोगों का प्यार डायरेक्टली नहीं दिखता.
अभी एक नापदंड हो गया कि बॉक्स ऑफिस में it is hit, then it is hit.
There is a certain pattern, there is a certain way of raising the numbers. You release it in 9,000 screens.
Yes, that is another challenge.
And the same day, हर एक स्क्रीन में अगर 40% ऑडियंस भी आई तो still you pull something. No other film gets released because you have taken off all the screens. आपका ही रेवेन्यू आएगा पहले हफ्ते. 9,000 का हो सकता है 7,000 हो जाए, फिर भी बहुत सारा रेवेन्यू आ जाएगा. मे बी देयर इज 30% ऑक्यूपेंसी, बट वहाँ आ जाएगा. कॉर्पोरेट बुकिंग्स होंगी, ये होंगी, वो होंगी. एंड देन देयर इज प्री सेल टू OTT, प्री सेल टू सैटेलाइट, ये वो. देन देयर मोबाइल सेल्स फॉर योर
मर्चेंडाइज भी सेल होता है,
म्यूजिक एंड बिट्स एंड स्टफ लाइक दैट. कर करके आपका एक
गारंटेड अमाउंट
बन जाता है, आपका एक अमाउंट बना लेते हो उसका. बट impact is a very different thing. Impact is when a film makes a difference to people's life. That is something you cannot. That's where the Raj Kapoors and the Devanands and the Bimal Roys and the Guru Datts came in. Their film made an impact on people's life.
There are multiple processes in making a film.
Yeah.
Number one is that you have to have a story. Then you have to have a screenplay.
Yeah.
Then you have to have on-floor shot and shooting. Then you have to have the editing part.
Yeah.
Then the real challenge comes
Yeah.
to distribute that movie and to showcase that movie to different locations.
Correct.
And how many locations you are getting.
Correct.
So how there is a politics which is involved that you see, and that the change that you had seen over a period of time.
Politics is definitely there because might is right has always existed. That will always exist. I don't think that can ever go away from human society. Whoever is mightier will always. Everybody has monopolistic instincts, right?
Yes, true.
Only thing is that earlier different studios existed. Different studios had their own space. Filmlaya existed, Filmistan also existed, yes. Bombay Talkies also existed, Navketan also existed, RK also existed. They all existed in their own. Each one represented a certain kind of cinema. Now, you see so much of acquisitions and mergers and stuff like that. It's all lots to do with the stocks also. Stocks and shares, equity and all of that comes into play. Shareholders come into play. It has nothing to do with someone writing Kagaz ke Phool for Guru Dutt. It's nothing to do with that. Abrar Alvi writing Sahab Biwi aur Gulam. Picking up a Bimal Mitra novel and creating a screenplay out of it. Guru Dutt going to investors and asking them to invest in this vision and casting and right and putting their all into with that film and picking up his favorite cinematographer to shoot that film VK Murthy and creating that magic, वो एक अलग चीज़ है. शेयर होल्डर्स के लिए अपनी कंपनी को सॉल्वेंट रखना, वो करना, दैट्स अ डिफरेंट थिंग ऑल टुगेदर. इसमें तो अबरार भी कहीं पे नहीं आते हैं, के अब्बास कहीं पे नहीं आते हैं, वो दूर दूर है. दे डोंट इवन नो हु दे आर, राइट? दे आर नॉट इंटरेस्टेड इन हु दे आर. दे ओनली सी ब्रांड्स, दे ओनली सीइंग किसकी क्या ब्रांड वैल्यू है अभी. तो ये ब्रांड वैल्यू को अटैच करना है. फला जने का ब्रांड वैल्यू 35 CR है, इसके साथ ये 25 CR को अटैच कर दो तो आपका ब्रांड वैल्यू हो गया 60 CR, आपका ऑलरेडी हो गया. अब इसके अंदर म्यूजिक डिपार्टमेंट में फला को लेके आओ, उसका ब्रांड वैल्यू है अबाउट 15 CR, तो 75 CR तो आपका ऑलरेडी हो गया. ठीक है ना. अब इसमें छोटे छोटे और कुछ ब्रांड्स को अटैच करो तो 100 CR तक आ गया. तो 100 CR तो आपका ऑन पेपर में आ जाएगा. आपका इन्वेस्टमेंट क्या है इसमें? 70 CR इन्वेस्टमेंट है. 30 CR आपका वो आ रहा है, मार्जिन 10 CR का होगा. तो थोड़ा कुछ और तो हटाओ, ये 35 CR वाले को हटाओ, 65 CR वाले ब्रांड को लेके आओ, 25 CR का हटा फला. ये सो इट्स अ सॉर्ट ऑफ
कॉमर्स मोर ऑफ इट, नॉट एन आर्ट.
या लॉट ऑफ अबाउट ब्रांड वैल्यू एंड
अभी मैं 3 एग्जांपल आपके सामने देता हूँ. आई हैव 3 डिफरेंट काइंड ऑफ थिंग्स. नंबर 1, आई विल कोट मिस्टर अनुराग कश्यप. He always says that my movies has been created as an IP, intellectual property, and I am generating maximum as a loyalty or royalty charges compared to whatever the film has gone to the box office and the business they made. So number 1, it's one as an IP creating game, because ultimately film is a product. If you are saying this as a business, it is a product, and digital format product is the IP. Now second is, Tigmanshu Dhulia says as a director, कि actors get paid only to wait in set. That is their job. Once I am asking for giving this shot, they have to give that shot. When it will happen, nobody knows. So their job is to wait, and they are getting paid only to wait. Third thing, nowadays in recent 6 months period, there are 4 acquisitions and mergers. First happened with that Excel Entertainment with Universal. And started with Mr. Karan Johar, Dharma Production, Mr. Adar Poonawalla. Adar Poonawalla has nothing to do with the entertainment, but entered as a value creation in terms of money. Second came as RPG, Ramaprasad Goenka Group came into Vansali. So Vansali was an art maker, collaborated with the money maker. And third, Excel Entertainment and that Universal.
Correct.
Now Reliance has taken 51% stake of Sekhia Entertainment, who was making these small budget films like Masan, Elephant, and all these. Those were Oscar given, but very small budgeted films. But they had also acquired by the Reliance because they were lacking somewhere that money and the reach maybe to going to the larger audience. So what is this equation now which is going on?
Which is okay. You know, you will have to make a certain number of films as products now, because only then you can justify the market value. But maybe in between you also make one film which is pure cinema. You know, if you make 4 films as products and make one homebound, then that's okay. I mean, क्या कर सकते हो आप?
But don't you think that if this way it will go on, then creativity will also be depending on the corporates? Where there is no relation between the creativity and corporate philosophy?
No. Earlier when cinema was directly between a producer, director and audience, or producer, director, star and audience, एक relationship तैयार होता था. The audience fed the film. And made the film. Or made it run, and therefore made sure that another film like that is made.
True.
That was one thing. अभी तो वो नहीं है ना. अभी तो it's all driven by the whole market drives.
So there my point is,
market players.
जो audience है वो सिनेमा देखना चाहते हैं, जो डायरेक्टर है वो सिनेमा ही बनाना चाहते हैं, जो प्रोड्यूसर है वो सिनेमा के लिए ही पैशनेट है. अभी तो रिलायंस तेल भी बेच रहा है, साबुन भी बेच रहा है, सिम भी बेच रहा है और साथ में मूवी भी बना रहा है.
हाँ तो ठीक है. मतलब देखो, इसमें तो ये तो इकोनॉमिक्स का खेल है. इकोनॉमिक्स में तो इट्स बियॉन्ड द कंट्रोल ऑफ एन आर्टिस्ट. आर्टिस्ट कांट कंट्रोल इकोनॉमिक्स ना. अब कनू बहल फिल्म बनाता है आगरा, जो कैन में रिलीज़ होती है. कनु बहल की फिल्म रिलीज़ हो रही है, हॉल्स उसको स्क्रीन्स बताए गए ऐसे होंगे, लेकिन जब रिलीज़ होती है तो एक स्क्रीन पर रिलीज़ होती है।
यस,
ठीक है। कनु बहल एक बेहतरीन फिल्म मेकर है, ग्लोबली उसका थोड़ा सा नाम भी है। उसकी एक फिल्म है जो उसके लिए इम्पोर्टेंट है और कुछ देखने वालों के लिए भी इम्पोर्टेंट है, लेकिन अगर वो देखने वालों तक नहीं पहुंचेगी फिल्म तो वो देख नहीं पाएंगे। तो अगर आप उसको एक स्क्रीन के एक शो में सीमित रख दोगे तो बहुत सारे लोग वहाँ नहीं पहुँचेंगे जो कनु बहल को अलग से नहीं जानते हैं। मैं जानता हूँ, इसलिए मैं किसी तरह से वही एक शो देखने के लिए पहुँच जाऊँगा। लेकिन अगर आपके शहर में, आपके स्क्रीन में या आपके आसपास नहीं रिलीज़ होती, आप नहीं देखोगे। शायद अगर आप देखते तो आप कहते वाह ये तो कमाल है, जैसे मैंने देखी नहीं, ये तो बड़ी नई चीज़ दिखाई इस आदमी ने, कौन है ये बंदा, और आप फिर इंटरेस्ट दिखाते हैं। तो वो जो ऑडियंस के साथ जो रिश्ता था, जो मैं रिश्ते की बात कर रहा था, जिस रिश्ते में ऋषिकेश मुखर्जी अपनी तरह की फिल्म बना सकते थे, मनमोहन देसाई अपनी तरह की फिल्म बना सकते थे, श्याम बेनेगल अपनी तरह की फिल्म बना सकते, वो थोड़ा बदल गया है, वो तो आपको पता ही है अभी।
अब यहाँ पे एक नया चीज़ आ गया है कि इंडिपेंडेंट फिल्म मेकर्स के लिए इट बिकम ए बिगेस्ट एंड ग्रेटर ऑफ द चैलेंजेस कि वो फिल्म रिलीज भी कर पाए।
इंडिपेंडेंट फिल्म अभी है कहाँ? अभी इंडिपेंडेंट फिल्म का तो दौर गया। इंडिपेंडेंट फिल्म भी के लिए भी आपको बड़े सेटअप की जरूरत है,
इंडिपेंडेंट
बड़े बैकर्स की जरूरत है,
रेस्ट्रिक्टेड टुवर्ड्स ओनली फिल्म,
बड़े बैकर्स की जरूरत है। आपका 12th फेल तभी बनेगा अगर विधु विनोद चोपड़ा प्रोडक्शन उसको सपोर्ट करता है या वो उसको बनाता है। आपका लापता लेडीज तभी बनेगा अगर आमिर खान प्रोडक्शंस उसको बनाता है। होमबाउंड तभी बनेगा अगर करण जौहर प्रोडक्शन उसको बनाता है। तो इंडिपेंडेंट फिल्म तो अभी यही है। इंडिपेंडेंट स्पिरिटेड जो फिल्म होती थी, जो जिसमें आप थोड़े थोड़े फाइनेंस यहाँ वहाँ से इकट्ठा करते थे और फिर टीम बनाते थे, फिर उसको तैयार करते थे, वो दौर तो ख़त्म हो गया ना। वो तो अभी एग्जीबिशन और डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन जब चला जाता है सिनेमा के 70 to 80% सिनेमा के लिए, अगर एग्जीबिशन डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन स्कोप नहीं होता है तो फिर इंडिपेंडेंट स्पिरिट तो ख़त्म ही हो जाता है ना।
अब मुझे बताइए कि अभी मान लीजिए किसी के पास स्टोरी है, किसी के पास विजन है, कुछ बनाने के लिए इच्छा है, जज्बा है, सब कुछ है, तो क्या वो दर दर भटके सारी प्रोडक्शन हाउसेस की तभी जाके कुछ बना पाएगा?
ऑब्वियसली भटकना पड़ेगा, दर दर भटके 10-15 साल भी लग सकता है आपको, और तब तक जब तक वो बनेगी, हो सकता है वो आपकी फिल्म जैसे आपने सोचा था, नहीं जैसे आपने सोचा था वैसा बने ना, तो वो तो ऑल्टर भी हो सकता है, बहुत कुछ हो सकता है। तो ये तो दौर है, ये वो दौर है जो जहाँ पे इकोनॉमिकली बहुत डामाडोल है, बहुत इनइक्वालिटी है। मतलब जैसे हमारे समाज में इनइक्वालिटी बढ़ गई है, 1% के पास बहुत इतना पैसा जितना दुनिया ने पहले कभी दिखा ही नहीं था, और 70% लोग रोज़मर्रा की ज़िंदगी जीने के लिए स्ट्रगल कर रहे हैं। जो पहले कंफर्टेबल थे वो आज स्ट्रगल कर रहे हैं, जो स्ट्रगल करते थे वो आज सर्वाइव करने की कोशिश कर रहे हैं, और जो सर्वाइव करने की कोशिश करते हैं आज वो भी नहीं कर पा रहे हैं। तो ये तो समाज का एक वो बन गया है, इकोनॉमिक स्टेटस बन गया है। वही स्टेटस आप एंटरटेनमेंट इंडस्ट्री में देखेंगे। मैं उसको आर्ट एंड कल्चर इंडस्ट्री नहीं बोलता, एंटरटेनमेंट इंडस्ट्री में आप देखेंगे वही चीज़ हो गया है। आज के दौर में होता तो क्या ऋषिकेश मुखर्जी आपका ये बना पाते, क्या कहते हैं, गोलमाल या फिर खूबसूरत या ऐसी फिल्में बना पाते?
उस तरीके से तो नहीं बना पाते,
नहीं, बिल्कुल भी नहीं बना पाते। उस फिल्म को क्या बासु जाड़ा जी रजनीगंधा या छोटी सी बात या बातों बातों में बना पाते? नहीं बना पाते। क्या गुलजार साहब मौसम बना पाते, या क्या कहते हैं नमकीन बना पाते? नहीं बना पाते। तो वो लोग तो नहीं बना पाते। और जहाँ तक कुंदन शाह, केतन मेहता, सईद मिर्ज़ा और श्याम बाबू की बात है, वो तो बहुत ज़्यादा स्ट्रगल करते। वो अपने पैसे से बनाते तो ठीक है, पर वो तो शायद बिल्कुल भी नहीं होते। तो ये हो गया है अभी दौर। अभी
सो नाउ मेजर थिएटर आर्टिस्ट जो होते हैं उनका 2-3 नैरेटिव्स आते हैं हमेशा सुनने के लिए। पहला आते हैं कि दे एंजॉय थिएटर्स बट फॉर द कमर्शियलाइजेशन और फॉर द मॉनिटरी बेनिफिट्स दे वांट टू गेट इनटू फिल्म्स और इन द टीवी। हाउ मच इट इज़ करेक्ट और हाउ मच इट इज़ ट्रू एंड हाउ मच ये मजबूरी काम करता है?
When you choose something as a profession, then economics come in. If you choose it as a hobby, economics don't come in.
No.
You go to office in the morning, you come back home at 7 o'clock, go for your rehearsal. ठीक है? But when you've chosen it as a profession, that means you have to work as an actor, earn as an actor. तो आपको avenues ढूंढने होंगे अर्निंग के अलग अलग तरीके से। कभी कॉम्प्रोमाइज़ भी करना होगा, कभी सैक्रिफाइस भी करना होगा। तो ये तो है ही है. कभी भी आप प्रोफेशन बनाओगे हॉबी को, तो वहाँ पे तो ये सवाल आ ही जाएंगे ना. ऑल दिस क्वेश्चंस विल कम अप देयर. टिल इट इज़ अ हॉबी, it is in your control. You're not dependent on raising revenue. Suppose podcasting is a hobby, then you will not be bothered about the revenue structure of the podcast. You're just happy because this gives you, आप अपने जॉब्स में आपको क्रिएटिवली मज़ा नहीं आता है. सो यू डिस्कवर दैट if I have a podcast, मैं दिल की बात अपने तरीके से खोल सकता हूँ, और जितने भी लोग देखे वो मेरे अंदर के छोटे से कम्युनिकेशन टैलेंट को पहचान पाएंगे. ये आपका. लेकिन जैसे ही वही आपका प्रोफेशन हो गया, अ प्रोफेशनल MC होस्ट विद दिस थिंग, तो फिर आपको कंटिन्यूअस आपको जुगाड़ करना पड़ेगा कि हाउ डू आई मेक दिस वर्क, हाउ डू आई मेक दिस वर्क, इफ दिस इज नॉट वर्किंग देन व्हाट एल्स डू आई ऐड टू इट. ये तो है ही ना. सो इट बिगिंस लाइक दैट. एवरी गुड थिंग बिगिंस एज अ हॉबी. देन व्हेन यू टर्न इट इनटू प्रोफेशन, देन यू हैव टू अप्लाई योरसेल्फ. How do I make it work?
You comes from a Bengali family. In Bengali families, art and culture is a part of life. But at the same time, choosing that as a profession is a very very tough thing, because there it is like कि अच्छे से पढ़ाई लिखाई करो, कोई सरकारी नौकरी मिल जाए, settle हो जाओ.
Educated profession.
So, are you were a rebel kid that you entered into this profession, or what was the start when you entered into this profession, and how you convinced your family that you want to pursue this as your entire life?
My family was very encouraging of art and culture from the beginning, because they were into art and culture themselves, meaning not practicing art and culture, but the whole indulging in art and culture.
Okay.
Going to classical music concert, watching plays, watching good cinema, the good discussions and debates that Bengalis have, the addas, and all that's part of every Bengali life, and specifically introduction to literature.
Yes,
it's a very part and parcel of Bengali life.
Yes.
That was part of me, that was part of my father, part of my mother. As a family, we were all of that. When I started doing theatre as a kid, they were very proud. They recognized the talent. Everybody recognized the talent. They would encourage me. My mother would also tell me that this is something that you should continue doing. My father would tell me that you can pursue this side by side with your job. If you pick up a secured this thing, then you can do this. Because I was pretty good in certain things, certain communication was effective. My father thought I should be a civil servant. I'll be able to do well. My mother was not so fussy. She thought maybe I should not go for government job, I should go for private sector. There my personality will flourish, etc., etc. That was there. But I had become serious about it from college,
Okay.
Slowly it was crystallizing in my mind with a lot of people's feedback and all. And my basic motivation inside me was that when I am creating something, I am most alive. And other times when I am doing something which has been handed over to me and I have to just execute it for someone else, I feel dead. I feel no motivation. So I was getting more and more sure that if possible, I will try to deeply go into this, but not share it with my parents in the beginning, obviously, because they won't like it. So I cleared my college, and then I got into doing certain courses just to keep them happy,
Okay.
I was doing certain courses. I got into mass comm, but I didn't do mass comm because it was a 2-year course, and I did a travel and tourism course and all. But at that time, outside college, when I came out of college, I was getting more and more active in the field.
Okay.
I was doing a lot of stuff.
And these are you are talking about in Delhi?
My theatre groups.
Okay.
I was writing plays, I was directing plays, I was acting in plays, I was attending workshops, I was taking workshop, I was getting exposed to 1,000 things, and I was growing. Every day I was becoming a different or a bigger or better person as an artist. And then within a year and a half of my coming out of college, I landed a job in a school as a teacher of theatre.
Okay.
To children.
Okay.
Theatre and education. Now this is a job. Small salary, but it's a job. So I started doing that. My parents were quite happy by then. Okay, chalo. नौकरी कर रहा है, टीचर है, And I was also writing at that time for a magazine. I was writing articles and getting some pocket money there. I was directing plays for other schools and groups and organizations and getting some money. So I was just slowly, I was trying to build a sustainable income for myself. My needs were not too much. When you're such an active artist, you don't have too many needs. I mean, you don't change your jeans every day. Just one jeans is good enough. 2 t-shirts, couple of shirts are good enough. You're interested in food is only that much, only to enjoy. It's not so much to consume. And because you're working, no? When you work 18 hours a day, what need do you have? The creative need. So I was working in the school for 7 hours, 8 hours a day. I was directing in another place for 2-3 hours a day. Then I was rehearsing with my group for 3-4 hours a day. Then I was performing street plays in faraway areas in Delhi. So 18 hours a day I was active. Where was the need for anything else? I was very happy. And then came a point where I wanted to learn more. I was teaching, but I wanted to learn more. That's when magic happened actually. You manifest these things. I wanted to learn under some good guru, good teacher. I was trying to apply in UK and Russia, but too much money. I didn't know how to fund that. So in the meantime, one of the biggest gurus of India, the founder of National School of Drama, Ibrahim Al-Qazi, came back to Delhi, who had left Delhi in 1977. He founded NSD, he shaped NSD, he made NSD, he did everything. All the actors, the great actors that we have known and seen actually came out of his tutelage. He came back to Delhi in the 90s and someone told him that there are still people who want to learn from you. So he decided to open an institute for post-graduation diploma
in Delhi.
Okay. In theatre, content, form, acting, direction, all of that. So I applied, I got in, I got selected, I got a scholarship, and I studied under him for 3.5 years.
And which year you are talking about?
Mid-90s.
Okay.
And at that time I had to leave the school job.
Okay.
So my mother was upset. But then I landed some good voicing jobs at that time. Over there I started voicing for puppetry and this and that.
Okay.
So I was doing workshops and stuff and all. I was still directing plays. So ho raha tha. All these things were happening. Workshop, directing plays, voicing and attending class and stuff like that. But वो 3 साल में जो मुझे फ़ायदा हुआ वहाँ से निकल के. Then I didn't stop. वहाँ से जब मैं निकला, I was prepared, polished and prepared, confident in who I am. And अब पीछे देखने की ज़रूरत नहीं थी. So my television kicked off then and there. फट से I got an offer to audition for a reality show. वो चैनल ने नहीं लिया मुझे, but the producer loved me. Passed on my tape to Siddharth Basu, who selected me to host a quiz show for him on
because
TV.
Siddharth Basu that time
huge.
Yes. So
for ZTV Hindi quiz show. Then I became a VJ for Sony TV.
Okay.
For Mere Message Mere Geet. Yeah. Then I got my serial for Z for Sony. And then I started getting calls from Bombay to come and anchor stuff here. So I came here to anchor Super Hit Mukabla for DD. And then something more. And then I started doing theatre here. Then I did serial here. Then I got my first film here. Then I didn't go back to Delhi. So I was here. So it happened organically. So I created a base for myself. And on that base, other things fell in.
And there were a lot of learning.
Yeah.
On that process.
From the best minds in the world, best minds in India, but also best minds in the world.
Now, if I talk about 2025-26, now what you are saying that you grow you over a period of time organically with a lot of learnings, and now it is all about visibility. That how much followers you have, how much viewers you are getting.
Completely.
It is all getting into that way.
Yeah, it is.
Then how you analyze the craft and the quality of craft you will be getting?
नहीं हो, मतलब देखो जिसको काम करना क्राफ्ट पे वो शायद अब भी करेगा. जिसको टैलेंट की पहचान है, नो जिसको टैलेंट की पहचान है शायद वो तब भी पहचानेगा टैलेंट. लेकिन वो कहते हैं ना, जो पहले भी शब्द था, लाइन थी, जो दिखता है वही बिकता है।
यस
फर्स्ट इंप्रेशन इज द बेस्ट इंप्रेशन, ये बोलते थे ना
Yes, yes.
इंटरव्यू में जब लोग जाते थे अपने, उसमें क्या है, वो इंप्रेशन तैयार करना है
यस
पहले।
यस यस
रटे रटाए कुछ चीज़ों को अच्छे से रट लो, ये पहले भी था, ठीक है ना। उसमें से जेन्युइन को आपको छांटना पड़ता था। तो अभी थोड़ा ज़्यादा मुश्किल हो गया है क्योंकि इतने सारे मीडियम्स आ गए हैं, अलग अलग मीडियम्स में विजिबिलिटी हो गई है। एक लड़का या एक लड़की पूरी तरह से अपना एक फेक परसेप्शन तैयार कर सकता है ना, एआई के ज़रिए, इसके ज़रिए
यस
कर सकता है। आपको पता भी नहीं ये रियल है कि नकली है। कितने एआई मॉडल्स के कितने करोड़ों फॉलोअर्स हैं, आपने देखा होगा। और वो एआई मॉडल्स प्रॉपर साइट्स हैं जहाँ पे वो बहुत चीज़ें करती हैं, लोग उसको फॉलो करते हैं, लोगों को प्यार भी हो जाता है उन एआई मॉडल से। तो ये भी एक दौर है, उस तरह का एक दौर है जहाँ हम ही से कट रहे हैं, हम ही से अलग हो रहे हैं, जुदा हो रहे हैं। हमारी क्रिटिकल थिंकिंग कम हो रही है। दिस इज द एज वेयर द क्रिटिकल थिंकिंग इज गोइंग डाउन। क्रिटिकल थिंकिंग मीनिंग व्हेन यू क्वेश्चन, व्हेन यू एनालाइज, व्हेन यू ट्राई टू अंडरस्टैंड, go deeper and deeper, and then take out something from there which you adopt and try to become a better person. वो खत्म हो गया। अगर सिर्फ दिखाना ही सब कुछ है तो आपको अंदर जाने की जरूरत नहीं है। योर डेप्थ इज नॉट नीडेड। इंफॉर्मेशन तो आपको चैट जीपीटी में मिल जाएगा।
यस
नॉलेज की आपको ज़रूरत नहीं है, आपको इन्फॉर्मेशन चाहिए। इसीलिए आज के दौर में इतना ज़्यादा फेक, इतना ज़्यादा प्रोपेगेंडा, इतना ज़्यादा जिसे कहते हैं कि
दिखावा।
नो इट्स एवरीथिंग इज फेक, फेक न्यूज़, फेक इंफॉर्मेशन,
फेक पीआर,
फेक झगड़ा, फेक सब कुछ फेक, एवरीथिंग इज फेक
जस्ट टू हैव ए विजिबिलिटी।
जो भी है, अगर वही चाहिए इंसान को अभी फ़िलहाल, ठीक है यार। लेकिन इसमें भी मैं मानता हूँ कि जो संजीदा लोग हैं, जो सेंसिटिव लोग हैं, वो अपने खुशी ढूंढ लेते हैं। उनको जो अच्छा लगता है वो करेंगे ना। अगर मुझे अच्छा लगता है कि मैं जाके फलां म्यूज़ियम में ये एग्जीबिशन देखूं जो अभी अभी आया है, तो मैं जाऊंगा ना। मेरी वहाँ विजिबिलिटी है या नहीं, उससे क्या फ़र्क पड़ता है मुझे। अगर मुझे अच्छा लगता है फलां राग सुनना, तो मैं मवलंकर हॉल या जो फलां हॉल में जाके उस सिंगर का क्लासिकल वो सुनूंगा ना। तो मेरे ऊपर है ना। अगर मुझे नेचर पसंद है तो मैं ढूंढूंगा ना कहाँ पे प्रिस्टीन फॉरेस्ट, माउंटेन, रिवर है, और वहाँ जाऊँगा। तो वो तो मेरी खोज है। यू हैव टू सर्च फॉर योर ओन हैप्पीनेस, यू हैव टू फाइंड योर ओन हैप्पीनेस, यू हैव टू मेक श्योर दैट आपके अंदर वो फिल्टर हो जो आपको बचाए रखे।
नाउ आई हैव 2-3 लास्ट सेट्स ऑफ क्वेश्चंस। नंबर 1 कि आज की तारीख में जो एक्टर बनने की जो तादाद है वो बहुत ज़्यादा है, बट उसमें से बहुत गिने चुने लोग हैं जो सही में एक्टर बनना चाहते हैं। दे आर एक्चुअली कमिंग इन टू दिस फील्ड टू गेट फेम एंड टू बिकम ए स्टार और हीरो और हीरोइन। वेरी सिंपल, दे वांट टू गेट लेवल्ड। सो जितने भी मेहनत हो रहा है वो इस लेवल के लिए हो रहा है, ना कि एक्टिंग को एज ए प्रोफेशन चुनने के लिए हो रहा है। हाउ डू यू सी दैट?
अगेन हमेशा से था। क्या है कि मानव कैरेक्टर ऐसा है कि वो विजिबिलिटी चाहता है, वो विजिबल होना चाहता है।
ओके
उसको पहचान चाहिए। कुछ एक है जो शर्मिंदा है, जो कहते नहीं मुझे लाइट नहीं चाहिए, मुझ पे लाइट मत लगाओ। लेकिन ज़्यादातर लोग जो हैं वो कहते हैं कि यार मैं मर जाऊंगा, ये पूरी ज़िंदगी काट लूंगा, मुझे कोई जानता नहीं, पहचानता नहीं, मेरी भी तो एक पहचान हो, मुझे भी तो कोई जाने, है ना। अब जिनके पास थोड़ा टैलेंट होता है उनका फ़ायदा है कि लोग उनके टैलेंट को वाहवाही करते हैं, तो थोड़ी उनकी पहचान बन ही जाती है ऑटोमेटिकली। जिनके पास टैलेंट नहीं है वो बेचारे सोचते हैं यार मैं कैसे पहचाना जाऊँ। तो फिर एक मीडियम होता है जो विजुअल मीडियम है, जहाँ पे आप अच्छे दिखते हो कैमरे में तो लोगों को भी अच्छे लगते हो, लोग अच्छे लगते हो तो आप पहचाने जाते हो। तो ये एक शॉर्टकट हो गया विजिबिलिटी का। तो लोग इसमें अटेम्प्ट लेते हैं कि ये विजुअल मीडियम है और इसमें विजिबिलिटी ज़्यादा है। उसी कैमरे के पीछे कम से कम 1 लाख लोग काम कर रहे हैं, समझ लो।
यस
लेकिन उनको कोई नहीं पहचानेगा।
हाँ ट्रू।
उस कैमरे के सामने एक जना आके खड़ा हो जाएगा, डायलॉग भी नहीं बोले, कुछ नहीं कर रहा, खड़ा हो जाएगा स्टाइल में, अच्छे कपड़े पहन के, अच्छे उस स्टाइल में, तो हो सकता है लोग उसे पहचान ले। अब उसको मेकअप करने वाले को कोई नहीं पहचानेगा, उसके कपड़े सीने वाले को कोई नहीं पहचानेगा। उसको फ्रेश करने वाले को कोई नहीं पहचानेगा, उस पर लाइट डालने वाले को कोई नहीं पहचानेगा, उसकी गाड़ी चलाने वाले को कोई नहीं पहचानेगा, उसको ठंडा रखने वाले को कोई नहीं पहचानेगा, उसको पहचान देगा। तो इसलिए लोग ये शॉर्टकट ढूंढते हैं विजिबिलिटी के लिए कि मुझे वो नहीं बनना है जो लाइट डाल रहा है, मेकअप कर रहा है, ये कर रहा है, वो तो विजिबल नहीं है भाई, मुझे तो विजिबल होना है। विजिबल होने के लिए कैमरे के सामने आना है। कैमरे के सामने आने का मतलब है एक्टर, मॉडल, जो भी आप कह रहे हैं, यूट्यूब स्टार, वट एवर यू से। सो दैट इज द रीजन पीपल वॉन्ट टू, एंड अगेन इट्स नॉट अभी तो हर कोई गांव से नहीं, कोई गोरा चिट्टा लंबा बंदा है, लोग कहते हैं यार तू तो हीरो बन सकता है, कहते थे ना।
यस।
क्यों कहते थे? ये थोड़ी देखा कि वो एक्टिंग करता है कि नहीं करता। कहते थे तू हीरो जैसा दिखता है।
यस, ट्रू।
अरे पूरा हीरो है, ये कहते हैं ना। तो वो भी एक इमेज है कि हीरो मतलब ऐसा दिखना चाहिए। थोड़ी ये कहते हैं कि हीरो मतलब ऐसा एक्टिंग करना चाहिए। कभी सुना है आपने कि हीरो मतलब ऐसा एक्टिंग करना चाहिए? कोई नहीं बोलता है। हीरो मतलब ऐसा दिखना चाहिए, ये बोलते हैं लोग। ये तो पूरा विलेन लगता है हिंदी फिल्म का, ऐसे बोलते हैं ना।
Yes.
किसी आदमी की बड़ी मूछें हो, काला हो, डार्क सा हो, बोलते हैं ये तो पूरा विलेन लगता है। क्यों बोलते हैं ऐसा? आड़ा टेढ़ा हो, ये जोकर है पूरा। These are terms people use, ना। They don't talk about acting or talent or whatever.
In Bollywood specifically, there are a lot of talk about different lobbies, and youngsters also getting trapped into it, and they are also trying very hard to being the part of these kind of lobbies, so that they can they are thinking in that direction कि being a part of this lobby will give a ease to enter into the industry or to get certain roles or get certain job.
वो तो है। लॉबीज तो समाज में भी लॉबीज है। लॉबीज समाज में नहीं है।
So how to tackle it? Because see, it is not like pleasing some specific individuals or specific lobby to get
नौकरी के लिए सिफारिश ढूंढते हैं ना, रेफरेंस।
Yes.
ढूंढते हैं ना। लोग ढूंढते हैं ना कि मेरे जान पहचान में कौन है जो मुझे हायर कर सकता है या काम दे सकता है।
So this is the same way.
एग्जैक्टली द सेम वे यार। अगर किसी का बहुत बड़ा लॉ फर्म है और उसमें उसका बेटा इंटर्न करता है, फिर बाद में वहीं पे वो बन जाता है टॉप लॉयर, तो वो तो वाजिब है ना, वो तो होगा ही,
Part of the system.
वो तो होगा ही। आप ये कैसे कह सकते हो कि वो नहीं होने वाला है ना। आर्ट में ये जरूर है कि आपके अंदर वो आर्टिस्ट्री होनी चाहिए, लेकिन स्टारडम जो है, मैं मानता हूं बने बनाए स्टार बहुत कम होते हैं, ऑडियंस एक्सेप्टेंस से ही स्टार बनता है। बने बनाए स्टार कुछ होते हैं, कुछ मीडिया क्रिएटेड, कुछ ये क्रिएटेड, जो 4-5 साल तक चल जाते हैं। इससे पहले कि लोगों को समझ में आया कि भाई ये तो धोखा हो गया, बंदे में तो कुछ है ही नहीं। एक्चुअल स्टार लोग बनाते हैं। तो आप ये नहीं कह सकते कि यार ये क्या स्टार है, सिर्फ एक्टिंग है। लोग बनाते हैं, लोग पसंद करते हैं, लोग बनाते हैं। आर्नल्ड श्वार्ज़नेगर कैसे सुपरस्टार बना था? उसमें तो कोई एक्टिंग टैलेंट नहीं थी,
बिल्कुल नहीं था।
वो तो बॉडी बिल्डर था। तो बॉडी बिल्डर कैसे बन गया इतना बड़ा स्टार? सबसे ज़्यादा हिट फिल्में उसने दी थी उस दौर में। लोगों ने बनाया उसको, लोगों ने कंज्यूम किया उसकी, वो जो पड़ोस रहा है। वैन डाम भी तो स्टार था ना, वो तो मार्शल आर्टिस्ट था। कैसे स्टार बना वो? लोगों ने कंज्यूम किया उसकी मार्शल आर्ट। जेसन स्टेथम अभी चल रहा है, एक्शन स्टार। कैसे? तो यू हैव टू अंडरस्टैंड दैट इट इज पीपल हु मेक स्टार। इफ पीपल see something in a person which they identify with, which they enjoy, which they cheer for, the person becomes a star. If the people reject, you don't become a star. Raj Kapoor's son became a star. Devanand's son didn't become a star.
True.
Why? You have to think.
So in 2026, if we talk about, if any aspiring actor is coming into the picture and want to get something into it, according to you, what should be the right method or the process that they should at least bare minimum follow these and then eventually maybe entering into it?
I am a very wrong person to ask this question, because I had no formula and I never followed anything.
No, I'm not asking for any formula. I'm asking that what should be the process and what should be the characteristics and what should be the basic things that they need to learn so that they can be relevant.
I know only one thing. Where miracles or magic won't happen. If that happens, then can be picked up from a coffee shop also,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
But if that doesn't happen, then what do you fall back on? The only thing you can fall back on is your talent and your craft.
True.
So that if somebody ever even dares to give you an opportunity, you don't fail that person. Because if you fail there, then you're gone, you're finished.
Yes.
So that's my simple guideline, that you have to work on yourself. Everyone has some talent or the other. Some has talent for singing, some has talent for dancing, some has talent for acting, some have talent for all three. So you have to find out, you have to ask yourself, what is your talent?
So thank you very much for sharing all the wisdom that you shared today. And I wish you all the very best for all the upcoming projects that you have in feature films, web series, TVC, whatever it is.
Thank you.
Because you are a fantastic and great actor, and people love you for that. Because whenever I talk to the people who are in West Bengal, they speak a lot about you. And in Mumbai already you are doing so much. So it is always great. So thank you very much again.
Thank you for having
join
me.
to our show. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
So this was the podcast with Mr. Joy Sengupta. I hope this podcast has given you a lot of ideas how Bollywood works and how the acting career actually works, and how an actor actually think before choosing a role, and how different industries in India itself works. So if you like this podcast, so please like, share and subscribe this channel, The Spotlight Beyond Profession. Thank you very much for watching the podcast till the end and signing it off.